Guys, myHQ.in launched in 2016. Today, they do about 30,000 a month in revenue, up from 10,000 a month just a year ago. And they do this by connecting remote workers in India with workspaces that are available through partners like WeWork and other restaurants they've converted to co-working spaces. They processed over 25,000 total bookings in June, of which 20,000 of those bookings were for a daily seat at one of these spaces, the restaurant, the WeWork, etc. They're growing nicely. They were acquired by a larger company, Rock, last year after going to basically zero during COVID. They'd raised 1.5 million in capital to date. Again, now growing inside of Rock. We'll see what happens next. Hey, folks, my guest today is Utkarsh Kawatra. He is a IIT Delhi graduate, started his company MyHQ in 2016 with a mission to empower today's workforce with freedom and flexibility to work in any way from anywhere. Utkarsh, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. All right. Give me an example just to help people understand what you do. Tell me a customer story. How do they use you today?
Got it. So it's essentially a marketplace for workspaces. What a person does is a lot of people moved hybrid or post-COVID, and they're working from home. They get tired working from home. They need to work out of a co-working space close by. They just download the MyHQ app. They can see all the spaces close by, book any of the spaces on a per day basis or per hour basis, or book meeting rooms altogether. That's for an individual. And similarly, for a lot of companies, the company admin gets onboarded on the SaaS tool, and then they can enable their employees to work out of any of the co-working spaces close to their homes or wherever they are. That's it.
Okay, so I'm on the site right now, myhq.in. It says select city. So I'm gonna pick Hyderabad, right? So is this
Yeah.
first off, is this just for folks doing remote work in India?
Yes, we are currently just
Okay.
in India.
Okay. So I click on Hyperbad and it says the new way to offices. It says
Okay.
FlexiPass, fixed desk and cabins,
Correct.
virtual
So,
office. So are you like WeWork for India?
WeWork is one of our partners. So WeWork would be, let's say, we are a marketplace. WeWork is one of the space providers. So you can just download the MyHQ app. Just download and you can book any of the WeWorks in India as an example. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And then companies, what they do is, for example, bigger companies which are completely hybrid want to enable their employees. They're not looking to bring all of them back to office. So they have this combination of remote and work from office, which is where we kind of help them integrate that seamlessly.
So just to make this very clear, you're a marketplace. A marketplace has
Correct.
supply and demand. Your supply
Correct.
is WeWork or people with physical workspace. Your demand is a
Absolutely.
company with remote workers, and you're matchmaking in between.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How do you make money?
I don't like to call ourselves a Tinder for this, but yes, in a way, you're absolutely right.
So how do you make money?
We make money on the bookings. It's as simple as that. It's a
Okay,
very simple.
so if a
You
company
can also
uses
call it
your
an Airbnb if you want to call it. Yeah.
the company uses your platform with a remote
Yeah.
worker, and that remote worker signs up for a Hyperbat office, which is powered by WeWork, and let's say it's $200 a month. How much will you make on that?
So we make roughly about 60 in that.
Okay, so you're taking 30%.
Yeah, 25, 30%. Correct.
30% take rate. Okay, interesting. And I guess what's the right metric that you measure to understand the health of your marketplace? Is it percent of GMV, like total GMV, or what is it?
I think it's so there are usually companies measure in the basis of number of companies onboarded. We generally like to measure in terms of usage, in terms of occupancy. So we want to see the number of bookings we are getting. And that's the metric that we try to track in and grow that week on week, day by day, or month by month.
Interesting. So last month in June of 2023, what was the total number of bookings?
We would have gotten about 20,000 bookings.
20,000. So again, just because that's 20,000 remote workers picking a workspace using your tool all in just in June.
Yes, and that, I think, if you purely ask me, that's largely top three cities. We've just expanded in the remaining cities in India. So we largely dealt NCR, Bangalore, and Bombay.
Interesting. Sorry, Bombay, Bangalore, and what was the last one?
Delhi. Delhi is NCR. Sorry.
So
My
what,
bad.
like
Yeah.
18, 19,000 of those all went through those three cities?
Three cities, correct. Yeah.
Wow. And what's the average ticket size? Is it 200 a month or something different?
On the ticket sizes per booking, you're looking at about 300, $400 for 9 hour, which is roughly, you're looking at about $8 odd, $5.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here, and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. So the average ticket size, sorry, I don't understand. When a remote worker books a place in Bangalore through your platform, what's the average price per month going to be?
It's a per day booking, right? It's a 2,000, 20,000. Yeah, it's a 20,000 per day bookings, which you've gotten. So that's about $5.
Okay, that's the GMV, and then you're going to take 20 to 30% of that.
Correct.
Oh, I see. Okay, interesting. Do any of the per day bookings turn into a per week or per month or per year?
So we have those as well. We do about 1,000 such bigger transactions there. So from that 20,000, there'll be about 1,000 who also take up per month bookings, which would be roughly translating to about $120 a month.
I see. So my HQ in June of 2023 processed 20,000 unique bookings at an average ticket size of $5, which would be $100,000 of GMV, of which your take rate is 20 to 30%, which would mean you're doing between 20 and 30,000 per month in revenue. Is that all right?
Yes, you've fit the hail. And if you include the monthly passes, that'll double the number. But yeah, that's somewhat. Yeah.
And if you're doing 20 to 30,000 per month right now in revenue, where were you exactly 1 year ago so we can calculate growth rate?
So 1 year ago, we were roughly at 1/3 of this. Yeah.
1/3?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So you've grown nicely. Okay. So how did you now that we understand the economics, let's get the backstory here. When did you launch the business?
So we launched quite a time back. We launched around 2016, 2017, but then COVID happened. We went to zero. There were 3 waves there. And then last year, we also got merged with a bigger real estate entity. So we're now part of a big sort of an IPC comparable in India called Anurag. So we merged with them. We started from scratch literally last year again.
Was that an all stock deal, or what did Anurag pay for the business?
A combination of cash and stock.
Okay. Why did you sell?
So we realized for us to crack corporates, I think one thing which I realized was in case of SaaS, when we're trying to pitch to these corporates, we want someone to help us open new doors in case of bigger corporates. And they have stronger relations with companies like Anurag, where they know that they'll help them with the real estate needs. So having such a partner has actually worked well for us. They've opened a lot more corporate doors, which has helped us grow faster. I've heard people, so being in the startup ecosystem, we've heard people say that it's better to be independent always. I think sometimes a strategic partner who's actually very helpful in terms of opening doors can actually build your business rapidly, fast for you.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. And it was public. What was the price? 75% stake for 125 crore. Is that right?
Somewhat. I unfortunately cannot disclose that, but yeah, somewhat the numbers were a bit haywire there. But yeah,
for my US audience, can you convert that for us? What is 125 crore?
125 would be roughly about 15 million as the number. That's the number. Yeah.
Okay, 15 million. So again, you can't confirm or deny that, but let's say the press reports are accurate and it was a 15 million deal price. As a founder thinking about an exit, how did you think about what percent to ask for in cash versus earnout versus stock?
Honestly, I don't think it was a lot of options for a founder. I think you want to work out the best deal possible where you have so as a founder, you're always trying to save money, not spend a lot on yourself. So you want to obviously get some return of the effort that you put in till date and then keep a strong view on the upside in the future. So everyone who bets on the business, they are also looking at maybe getting a potential exit in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. So they want us to be also invested in it. And I think we are also in that zone that we are also invested in it. So I think I generally look at the cash as something that for the effort that I've put in till date, that's the cash that I'm looking at. And then I'd look to keep that upside for the later date, either via or through for future.
So how much cash had you raised at the company before the exit?
So we had raised about $1.5 million.
Okay, $1.5 million. So you can't confirm or deny what the actual deal was, but what you're saying is you would have been happy if 1.5 million of the deal was cash up front because you're making your current investors whole, and the rest you guys could take as upside as equity in Anarok.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, let's say it was a $15 million deal price. If you're doing 30,000 a month today in revenue, up from 10 grand a month last year, and last year is when you did the deal. I mean, that's 120,000 of ARR. Basically, someone paid 15 million for that. Again, if the reports are accurate, that's a huge multiple.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The number on the press was a bit wrong, I would say. Let me just put it
I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Talk to me about, so you launched in 2016. Anyone listening right now wanting to launch a marketplace, they understand the chicken and the egg problem is very real. Yeah, how did you convince the first workspaces like WeWork in India to list on your platform? And how did you find the first, renter?
They took a while. WeWork was not up and running with us for a good 3-4 years. I think what it's a chicken and egg problem. We first started with the supply. We got some supply where we got some partner spaces who knew us through our networks, maybe. I think that's the first place we started with. That sort of started.
What are the name of those places? So they weren't WeWorks, but what are the name of the co-working
They were
spaces?
very small standalone real estate owners. You've got something like a Walk, which is a co-working operator in Delhi. You've got Zootish, which was a restaurant, which we had converted to a co-working space. So we had a wide variety of spaces, and starting with some of the restaurants which were completely shut during daytime and converting them to co-working was actually the easiest to begin with. And we had like about 10-15 of those. But then over time, obviously, as we start getting more and more customers, then we got some more and more brands. And over time, we've got most of the brands coming in with us. Yeah. But it's a long journey. I honestly, maybe we did it right or wrong, I'm not too sure, but that's the path we took. Yeah. Where we started small, got the flywheel running, and from there on we started kind of increasing the kind of partners we got.
And let's just focus on supply demand real quick. Today, how many unique location providers, the supply, are on your platform?
We would have about 2,000.
Wow. Okay. And how many unique companies have used you to help one of their employees find a workspace for a day?
So we help about 150 companies. That would be currently we would have about 1,000 companies who are using us right now.
Okay, so 1,000 companies
who would have used us in the last 6 months. Yeah.
made like over
And
20,000
who are
bookings.
using us, who are using us as well still.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually use the number so that my audience understands what using us means. So the 1,000 companies did at least one booking in the past 30
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Okay, interesting. And on average, they do about 20 bookings, right? 1,000 times the 20,000 bookings.
Yes, you can give that number. And as I said, there are monthly bookings as well. What I was their day, what I said 20,000 was the day bookings. Then there are monthly bookings of about 1,000 as well.
Oh, I see. Oh,
That's
my
why I said
numbers were way,
the
it's
number
too
you quoted
small.
was much lower. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So 20,000, I thought you said you did 20,000 total bookings in all of June.
No,
That's your
no, I said
daily rate.
20,000 was the day bookings. Then there are monthly bookings as well.
Oh, how many total bookings did you do in June?
So total would be about 25,000. Yeah. And the monthly bookings will have a higher ticket size.
Okay. Sorry. We're talking about two different metrics. When you say 20,000 daily bookings, what I'm thinking is then multiply that times 30 days in June, right? So then you did 6 million total
No,
bookings. Yeah. What you're telling
no.
me is, yeah.
Sorry.
So just to be clear, to repeat this back to my audience,
25,000 total bookings.
yeah, in June.
And there'll be about 2,000 which are of a higher ticket size. 20,000
Yes.
will be of the lower ticket size.
Yeah. So you guys get that, right? So again, in June, there are 1,000 companies that paid for some duration through my HQ. 20,000 of the durations were a daily duration, and the other 5,000 were either a weekly, a monthly, or an annual duration.
100% right. Yes.
Okay, we're on the same page now.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was taking so much time to make.
No, you're good.
Business.
You're good.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's the team size today?
We are about 70 people.
70?
Yeah.
Interesting. And are you still having fun, or are we going to read in the press that you leave the company and launch something new next week?
No. I think if anything, you'll read positive about the market where we are getting some good tie-ups on board and expanding further.
Okay, that's a he dodged the question. So what's your new idea? When are you launching it?
No, nothing. I'm quite happy here, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's what it's interesting. A lot of founders have asked me that now you've kind of sold it to some extent. Why not start something again? I'm like, I've not seen the end of this. I think I want to reach the end where this becomes a big business.
Yep. Well, we're rooting
so
for
I won't
you.
stop till then.
Well, we're rooting for you. We'll see what happens. We're out of time though for today. So let's wrap up here, Utkarsh, with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite book?
Atomic Habits. Simple.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Elon Musk. You cannot ignore him, right?
Yep. Number three, what's your favorite online tool?
I use Zoho quite often in WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp business runs on WhatsApp pretty much. Yeah.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
6.
Okay. And situation, married, single, kids?
Single.
Okay. No kids. And how old are you?
I'm 32.
32. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20?
Running a business, you find it fancy, but it's not fancy. It's supposed to be boring things, doing good boring things every day.
Good boring things every day. Guys, myhq.in launched in 2016. Today, they do about 30,000 a month in revenue, up from 10,000 a month just a year ago. And they do this by connecting remote workers in India with workspaces that are available through partners like WeWork and other restaurants they've converted to co-working spaces. They processed over 25,000 total bookings in June, of which 20,000 of those bookings were for a daily seat at one of these spaces, the restaurant, the WeWork, etc. They're growing nicely. They were acquired by a larger company, Anurag, last year after going to basically zero during COVID. They'd raised 1.5 million in capital to date. Again, now growing inside of Anurag. We'll see what happens next. Utkarsh, thanks for taking us to the top.
Okay. Thanks, Nathan. Pleasure.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.